back is nice and straight. Arms just relaxed. Whole body gently relaxes. So we have these dual ideas. Feet connected down into the earth. Jianjing, the shoulders, relaxing down. Wei Lu, the tailbone, sitting down. And then Bai Hui lifts up on top of the head. Huiyin, between the legs, lifts up. Gentle lifting, Tanzhong at the breastbone. So it's almost like the central core of the body drawing up, whilst the rest of the body gently settles down. These two opposing forces. So we settle into this comfortable stance, and then we can begin the gentle exercises. So we'll just do 15 minutes of gentle warm-ups, and then after that, we'll move on to our standing or sitting meditation. So these exercises come from the very core of your body, searching for lower dantian, the lower energy field. It sits behind your belly button, deep inside, just before you bump into your spine would be where the lower dantian sits. So think about this core of you and think about what happens when you gently turn the core to one side. The spine responds, the body responds. Turn to the other side, gently opening. When you feel that your spine feels safe and open, just gently allow the body to turn side to side. Keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed, keeping your elbows nice and relaxed, we softly turn. So the idea of these early exercises is just to get the blood and qi flowing well. When we sleep, the qi stagnates in the big muscles of the body. So it stagnates in the back of the arms, stagnates in the buttocks and thighs, the back of the calves. And often we sleep on our backs as well. And so the qi tends to pool in that area. And so these first early morning exercises, just get that started, just get it moving. Let's just move on to the second part of this exercise. So we're just slowing the turn a little bit. You can make it slightly longer now because your back is gently warmed up. So now we can look back over the shoulders, use our neck as well, stretch out and gently open. Look back, stretch out, open up. So what's the healing story for today? It's about compassion for oneself. It's about starting off your healing journey by forgiving yourself. And I think that's one of the absolute keys to breaking through to a real healing. When we start to think through the arrival of illness in our lives, chronic illness, it sometimes, well, all too frequently becomes obvious that lifestyle choices have kind of led us to these places. That by choosing an unwise partner, by choosing an unwise job, sometimes we just drift into these things with our eyes closed. And we find ourselves in these extraordinary relationships with our work, with our family, with our partner, with our children. And you stop for a moment and think, how could this possibly have occurred? How could this possibly have happened? This wasn't what I was thinking of, but apparently it was what you were thinking of because it has been created in your life. And the generally accepted principle is that you are the creator of your life. And so somehow unconsciously, you've drawn things to yourself. Things it's unimaginable. You'd think to yourself, how could I ever have possibly have wanted this? But whatever this might be, tends to be the result of 7 years, 10 years, 5 years of not looking at where you're going. And we all know, in daily life, if you don't look where you're going, you bump into something. You don't look where you're going, step in front of a car. That's a bit dramatic, isn't it? But you know what I mean? It's that not looking where you're going that we're so easy to do. Sometimes you get caught up in your head, very, very busy, thinking about this and that. And suddenly it's, oh, goodness, you bump into something. You think, oh, I've got a nasty bruise on my arm now. I walked into a door. Okay, you didn't want to walk into a door, but you were just not listening to what was going on or not concentrating on what was going on. And something befell you. And so there we are. We're at our point in the story where something has befallen us, but this time a bit more dramatic than a bump on the arm, that over a period of time. Hello there. This is Peggy who's come to say hello. Peggy will no doubt try and jump up in a second. You can move on, Peggy. Yeah, we've come to the junction of the story where somehow something more dramatic has befallen us without us having realized. And so the first thing that Qigong does for us is it brings us into consciousness. It brings us back to listening to ourselves. So, I'll say to you, go inside, see how you can feel, see what you can feel. And that is in itself an instruction to look at what's happening to you today, And the more you do it, the more you become aware of it. So Qigong breeds this consciousness inside us. So we stop making the same mistakes again and again because you're starting to listen to yourself. You're starting to think, I wonder what that pain in my back is all about. And you start to think about it for a little while and you think, well, probably to do with the arguments I've been having, or probably to do with the work situation I have, whatever it might be. And so we can start to analyze changes. A certain time, a certain point in time has brought about a change, and you think back, why has this happened? And you think back a couple of years, and you think back to, perhaps loss of a loved one, and then perhaps loss of a job or something like that. And all of those things, you think, well, that was a really chaotic time in my life. And I see how things have come about now. I see what's happened to me. All of these bad things have piled up. Now my body is telling me to stop. My body's telling me to do Qigong, hopefully. So today we'll look at the possibility that we can change things for ourselves, that we've brought about these things in our own way, and that we can actually help ourselves to do something about it. Okay, so let's let this exercise slow down, gently come to a stop. Great. Well, it's quite a long turning the waist exercise. Let's gather some chi. If you're feeling a bit dizzy, this is the exercise to calm and relax things, to bring things back down again. Just lifting chi up gather chi. Draw it down through your body. Just really deep inside. Feel the connection in your belly. Okay, so we're going to try some simple forward and back bends next. Okay, so if we keep our shoulder width posture, we're just going to stretch the hands up into the blue sky. Nice long stretch up. And then we're going to tip forwards. So we tip forwards just the arms and the ears first. And then the upper back, then the middle back, then the lower back. And we slowly relax our way down and let ourselves just hang gently here. This position here, we softly stretch down towards our toes. And then release that. We stretch down toward the root of our toes. Release that. Towards our insteps. And release. And towards our heels. Good. Let the body hang and relax. To come upright, you just lift your tailbone and point it up into the blue sky behind you. And then you swing it towards the front of the body and start to roll the spine up. And then the head and the arms and the ears gently come up with it. Stretch up into the blue sky. Knees and hips drift forwards and you gently lean back. Stretching up, gently lean back. Up and back. Up and gently back. Hands up in the blue sky, nice long stretch. Arms and ears tip over. And then we roll into the upper back. We roll into the middle back. And we roll into the lower back. So we just let the body hang and relax here. We take all the weight off the back of the neck. Just allowing the body to relax, settle into a comfortable posture. Okay, so the first little stretch takes us gently down towards our toes. And then we release that. And then in line with the roots of our toes. And gently release that. In line with our insteps. And release. In line with our heels. And release. The body just hangs down and relaxes. Okay, so lift the tailbone up behind, push the tailbone to the front, roll the spine up, bring up the head, the arms and the ears as one piece if possible. Stretch up to the blue sky, stretch up, stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward as you lean gently backwards. I sometimes do a little bit of side bends here as well. So back and just slightly off to one side. And up. Then back and slightly off to the other side. And straight back again. So I sandwich two kind of side bends. And up. Okay, so let's try and do this exercise with our legs locked straight now. If you keep them straight, it just adds a little hamstring stretch. So tip over the head and the arms and the ears. Nice straight legs if possible. You can always release them if they don't work. Body hang gently down. Sink and relax. Keep the back of the neck soft and relaxed. Legs are straight. You can put the weight a tiny bit forward into the toes. Feel a little hamstring stretch there. Okay, let's extend gently down toward the toes. And release. In line with the roots of the toes. Release. Toward the insteps. Release. And stretching back toward the heels. Okay, so the body relaxes. Tailbone lifts up behind. Tailbone pushes to the front. Spine starts to lift up, vertebra by vertebra. Head, arms, and ears gently follow up. Stretching up into the blue sky, stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. You can lean back. Up. Gently back. So I put these little side bends in here because I once had sciatica. I find this little backward side bend. It's really helpful. So it deters sciatica. And back. Okay, up into the blue sky. Okay, so last time, let's try and keep the legs straight once again if we can. Arms and ears are the only thing to tip over. The body stays upright. So you just arch the nape of the neck, and then you move into the upper back, and you move into the middle back, then you roll into the lower back, and slowly the body hangs down and relaxes. Okay, so first bend, stretching down towards our toes, and then release, in line with the roots of our toes, and then release, in line with our insteps, and release, heading back towards our heels, and release. Slowly lifting the tailbone up behind, pushing up the spine, lifting up the spine, arms and ears coming up, gently drawing up, stretching up to the blue sky. And release those hips and knees forward as you lean back and up. Gently back and up. Back and up. Back. Stretch up. Just release the hands down the sides, gently flowing down. And then we're going to gather chi. Okay, so lifting chi up. And pouring chi down. We're drawing the chi down through the head, moving it deep into the center of the chest, moving it deep into the center of the belly, and then moving down the legs. So we're gathering it to lower dantian, first of all. Lift up, move it down through upper dantian. We leave anything in upper dantian that's required. Pour some more down into middle dantian, filling that up. And then eventually it all goes down to your belly, where we hold for a moment and then relax. Okay, so let's try and do some side bends just to finish off. So drifting the right hand up into the air, we're going to lean the body over towards the left-hand side. Gentle breath in and stretch towards the left. Breathing in, stretch left. Breathing in, stretch left. Bring your hand up in the air. As we exhale, take the right hand down, left hand goes up. Stretch up and go right. Up, stretch right and right. Up and stretch right. Take the left hand up. Turn the hands over. Right hand comes up. Breathe in, go right. Breathe in, stretch. Sorry, left, isn't it? Breathe in, stretch left. Up in the air, switch hands over. Breathe out. I've got a plague of something interesting flying around me at the moment. A few more stretches off to the right. Stretch hands up into the blue sky. Let the hands gently go down, drift down. Gathering chi. So lift chi up. Or chi down. Lift and gather. And gently pull. Once more. Lift and gather. Chi through your body. Move the chi from your head. Draw it down into your chest. Deep into your belly. Let's gather one more time. This time we can just gather the chi down to our bellies. So your hands settle. As the hands settle on the belly, we're just holding lower dantian. It's abundance of energy deep inside. Gathering chi deep in your belly. Holding this chi. This healing energy slowly gathering deep inside you. So, eyes open, eyes closed. When you first start doing your Qigong, you tend to try and keep your eyes open to see what everybody else is doing or what you're doing, what I'm doing. After a while, you tend to go through a phase where you close your eyes completely. But actually, somewhere in the middle is really good. I tend just to allow my eyelids just to sort of droop down. They're 3/4 closed. There's just a little slot at the bottom of the eye, and you can just sort of see vaguely a piece of ground in front of you. So it helps you to maintain your balance because you're just gently aware of the ground when you have your eyes shut. It helps you maintain your balance a little bit, but it keeps you inside. So it keeps the distractions of the outside world from coming in. And of course, the point about that is that you can just hold your focus a little bit more steadily if your eyes are 3/4 closed or completely closed. You don't get distracted. Actually, what happens over a period of time is that your stability inside builds. And then doing your standing Qigong with your eyes wide open is a possibility because your inside is steady and doesn't move. But to begin with, probably better to have them gently closed, 3/4 closed. How about the standing sitting story? Standing with the knees gently bent, the tailbone softly tucked forward, tailbone dropping down. That's going to create quite a bit of stress on your legs if you're not used to standing. When was the last time you stood for an hour unmoving? It's a very unusual practice, Qigong. But as I always say to people, it's the reason why you find, 18, 90-year-old ladies in China who can stand on one leg in the park because they've been doing it for a long time. And you build up a gentle strength in your lower body. It's not something that you immediately find after, 1 month of doing it or whatever, but it's something that after a few years, people start to say, oh, you're strong. I think, yeah, I suppose I am actually. Slowly but slowly, drip by drip, your strength builds in the body. So we keep the knees unlocked because that activates the muscles. So we're gently exercising the muscles, doing this exercise literally every day. And so keep going with this standing exercise if you can. There's no problem with sitting down. That's easy, that's fine. If you want to sit down, please feel free. But if you can stay standing as long as you can, or sit down and then, stand up again, sit down, stand up. But the idea would be to try and stand as long as you can. When you get to the end of your tether, as it were, then just take another minute before you sit down. And that extends everything, that builds your resistance up. So we're just sitting or standing and staying with our hands in the belly and going deep inside. Feeling this core energy building slowly inside. When you bend your knees, the chi flows up from the earth. When you stretch your bai hui, top of the head, up into the blue sky, chi pours down. You gently tuck your tailbone forward a tiny bit, and you draw your chin back a tiny bit, and that just straightens out the curve of your spine. So now we have a lovely straight spine because of these little adjustments we've made. And that means that we're able to have chi flowing much more easily through our bodies. Just be aware of the fact that you're just allowing the chi to flow much more easily. Body and mind in harmony. body and mind relaxed. Feel the connection of your feet deep into the earth. Feel the connection of your head into the heavens. Heavenly chi pours down, earth chi surges up, gathering deep inside your belly. Allow your acupuncture points to open. So on the soles of the feet, Yong Quan opens up. On the top of the head, Bai Hui opens up. On your forehead, third eye, Yin Tang, opens, and it's got a matching point on the back of the head, Yu Jian. Tanzhong, the center of your breastbone, gently opening. Underneath your arms, Da Bao, gently opening. Belly button, Du Qi, gently opens. And the matching point on the small of your back, Ming Men Gate, gently opens. Lao Gung on your hands, gently open. The pores of your skin, gently open. We soften and relax into the chi field around us. Sometimes when we stand like this, just the soles of the feet are the things that put us off, or the lower back, or the middle back. If you feel you have to give your feet a little shake, that's no problem. You can always just shake them and then plant your feet back and carry on. If you feel your lower back is sore, try adjusting your tailbone forward a tiny bit. If you feel there's a pain between your shoulder blades, try lifting your breastbone a little bit. Relax your shoulders down. So now you're in the optimal position for gathering healing chi into your body. So you've done everything you earthly can to kind of get the chi flowing with all our opening exercises, and then just to gather the chi with this standing posture. So this is the perfect place for you to gather in all of this healing energy deep inside your body. Fantastic. So now we have blood and chi flowing well in the body, gently absorbing energy, absorbing through the acupuncture points, absorbing through the pores on your skin, absorbing from your breath, and also from your food, if you've had any breakfast. It's funny that I can't do Qigong if I've had my breakfast. I have to do it before. Some people can't do Qigong unless they've had their breakfast. Just shows how different we all are. Now we've found our perfect posture for gathering. I think now we have to look at inner workings of the body. So we're so familiar with the Freud idea. I think Freud was the originator of the inner child. Inner child. Just imagine a version of you inside. This is the acknowledgement that for the first 7 years of our life, we're astonishingly vulnerable on an emotional level. The word that everybody uses is sponge. So in ancient China, I suppose if you were 7 years old in ancient China, you'd probably be working in the fields. But unless you were lucky enough to be born into the gentry, into the upper echelons. But if you were lucky, for the first 7 years of your life, you'd live a very cosseted life. You'd stay with your mother, you'd have gentle play, gentle education, but nothing too dramatic. Hopefully there would be no turmoil in your little life. You'd just be brought up in a loving, caring society where everything seemed balanced and okay. Well, how many of us are lucky enough to have that? By the age of 6 or 7, we're already going to school, which seems like a massively hostile environment. Sometimes 3 or 4, we're already going to some sort of kindergarten, and already you've been taken out of this environment, this loving environment. But even before that, in the circumstance of our birth, sometimes we're thrust into a very cruel life. No parents, or parents who don't like us, parents who don't care, parents who are too busy. And then we have the effects of our parents' religion, perhaps. We have the effects of our brothers and sisters. Our grandparents can often have a massive effect on us, always not positive, not always positive. And all of these things you absorb, you draw these patterns in. Somehow, they suddenly become your story. How did that happen? Why did it happen? Just because you're completely empty, you're a sponge. And all of these prejudices, all of these ideas have just been absorbed into your life. When you first arrive on this earth, you arrive with no preconceptions. So everything you're given in the first 7 years does not belong to you. Just think about that. These are all second-hand ideas. Your parents' stance on religion, gender, politics, you just absorb them. You have no idea why you became a Labour voter, a Conservative voter, a Democrat voter, a Republican voter. You just became one because that's what your parents used to do. It takes a while for us to think through and maybe change our minds about that. Sometimes you only find yourself in your 30s or 40s or 50s before you suddenly think, why am I still voting for these people? But that's just a perfect set of patterns that we've just absorbed and we don't really know why. Why we became a Catholic or a Jew, why we became Protestant, why we started work as an architect, an engineer, office worker. So often you end up in a career that's one that your father would like to have had, your mother would like to have had, or did have. We just follow them. I was listening to this lady talking the other day who was saying, so then I went to university to become an architect. She said, I didn't know why until I realized that my dad had said to me, I've always wanted to be an architect. I wish I could have been. She said, and I found myself studying architecture. And then one day I realized I didn't want to be an architect at all. So you think, yeah, that's exactly it. So life gives these things to your young self. Some good, some bad. If we go back a step, we find there's no such thing as good and bad. There just is. These are just the parts of life who teach us to be who we are, the interesting challenges that we take on. And so nothing in your life is ever wasted. If you look back and think, why did I spend that time doing this? Nothing is ever wasted. Everything forms you. Everything becomes a formative part of you. And so there's no point in looking back at things and thinking, oh, that was a waste of my life. That was a waste of time. Because everything fits somewhere. Even if it's something you have to get rid of, even if it's something that you've ended up hating, it's made a change in your life and it's changed your path. So you are the culmination of all of these choices. And if now they've brought you to somewhere where you feel unwell, then you can make choices to unwind all of this. You can make choices that will make you happy again, make you well again. Just being here in this Qigong class is the first example of that. This is a place you've chosen to be, and this is how you bring about healing. So we think about ourselves. Pick an idea of you, age 6, 7, 8, 5. Think of a time when you felt happy, a day when you felt happy. Sunshine, ice cream, friends, nice play, birthday party, whatever it might be. And just think about that shining child for a moment. Let's think about that beautiful energy. Just think about that fresh, clean, clear child. So interesting, isn't it? This ability to cast our mind back in time, just to think about how you were this particular day, joyous, happy, skipping, everything. Just think about that beautiful child. Feel that energy in your body. The other thing that comes with these kind of thoughts is the freedom of being a child. For most children, there are just times where you felt you were completely free, nothing mattered. You were able just to skip through the day. I don't know, sometimes that's not the case for everybody. There are some moments in everybody's life that they can draw back to and just think about that childhood freedom. No responsibilities, long, happy days, summertime. So we're just thinking about using that energy, holding that energy. And that energy is going to be the place we go back to when we're feeling life is a struggle. So use this picture, and perhaps it actually is a picture. Perhaps you can think of a picture in a family album of you looking happy. I'm going to ask you just to think about that moment, just to think about that picture in your head, and just to call upon that when you're feeling life is tough. Just to draw some of that child energy back to you. Just when you think about the difficult things, then we can think about this moment of joy, of happiness. Okay, so now we have a more difficult time. Think about that inner child, the difficult things that happened. I'm sure there must be plenty of moments you can draw upon. Our parents give us such layers of judgment. This is good and this is bad. This is what we want for you. This is what we don't want from you. We have this constant judgment that's given to us and then sometimes applied directly to us. You are good. You are bad. You'll never amount to anything. All of these ideas that are implanted into us. And then perhaps religion has a say in that as well. Tells you you're a sinner, tells you you're a bad person. Perhaps school has a hand in that as well. Starting to tell this perfect child, stupid, bad, perhaps ugly. And we start to believe these things. So think about this poor child filled with these terrible thoughts and just believing them to be the case, really believing them to be true. Every single one of us is beautiful. Every single one of us is perfect. But somehow we have these twisted stories fed to us, telling us that we're not right, telling us that we're not matching society's requirements. Each of us is totally unique. Each of us is beautiful and brilliant. But somehow this information seeps into our lives and starts to color our lives. So think about that child now who feels a bit upset, feels a bit sad. Perhaps that child feels a bit angry. What about that inner child who feels hurt, feels pain? The sadness of that inner child. Because somehow it seems that the stories we were told, somehow it seems that the things we expect from life haven't turned out the way they should do. Parents might say to you, oh, you're going to have a wonderful time at school. And then school turns out to be hell. You feel like somebody's lied to you. School is a place of learning, and somehow you're not learning anything at all. It's supposed to be some safe place, and suddenly it's not. That your grandparents are supposed to be these havens of calm, but they're not. Your parents are supposed to be providing, but they can't. That the church is supposed to look after you, but it doesn't. All of these layers of letdown, of upset. Think about that child, scowling, upset, crying. So now we do have these two parts of ourselves. Some happiness, some sadness, some anger, upset, cross child. So many patterns stem from this part of our life. Unconsciously, still using them 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. So healing this child, forgiving all the things that this child felt were injustice, it's a starting point. Forgiving yourself. Think about your inner teenager. Gosh, that was a difficult time for a lot of people. We find very often boys, it's time when they get bullied, and girls as well, but it's more emotional. So one friend said to me, boys explode, girls implode. Teenage boys explode, teenage girls implode. I thought that was a very wise observation. So think about the times as a teenager you hurt yourself, maybe hurt others. Angry teenager. Again, lied to. Nothing seems to be right. Nothing seems to fit. All the stories we've been told. Society has let us down yet again. So sometimes you're lucky and you have a perfect teenage time. everything flows well. But also, there's a possibility your teenage time has been very difficult, very unhappy. And of course, we're a raging mass of hormones as we go through shifts and changes. So we have our hurt child and our angry teenager. And these form patterns throughout our life. You're still using the same strategy. How do we break that down? Well, the first thing really is to love that child, to love that teenager. And then you can bring about love for the adult. So just think about yourself now. Think about your angry child, your hurt child, angry teenager, and see where you've come and how you've come to these patterns. It's maybe not incredibly obvious, but somehow you find yourself perhaps being angry as a child, angry as an adult. You become someone like a policeman. You sort of see that you're still in the violent and anger place. Perhaps somehow it's possible to track it quite simply like that. Perhaps it's much more complex. Perhaps you felt so hurt as a child that now you're trying to help everybody. Very often that happens. We spend so much time helping others, we forget to look at ourselves at all. So here we are today, giving back to ourselves. So first of all, compassion. You have to accept. Acceptance is a really tricky word because I feel that acceptance is almost, giving away your power. Think that you need power and willpower to get through your healing challenge. But somehow you have to also accept that the things that have brought you here are your teachers and not a disaster. The things that have brought you here are going to change everything in your life and renew you. Like a like a snake shedding its skin. You're here to renew yourself. You have the opportunity to become brand new. And so every single day we reinvent ourselves. Every single day we're bringing about change in our lives. Every single day we renew our story, the multiple stories that make us up. We change the way we look. We change the color of our hair. We change and put makeup on. We put different clothes on. Those are just the outward ways we change ourselves. Daily, we change our opinions about things. We hear something on the news, we think, oh, okay, change our opinion about it. We talk to someone, they change our minds. So we're constantly shifting. So why not allow the fundamentals of you to shift too? Why not deep inside bring about forgiveness, compassion? So in order to bring this change at a deep level, we have to first love ourselves. So I'm just thinking about heart, summertime. Think about your heart. If you wish, you can have your hands in front of your heart. And you can gently do lachi, opening and closing your hands. But this time we're thinking of our heart. So, as you may notice with the red that I'm wearing today, we've moved on to summertime. With the new moon last night, the Chinese declare start of energetic summer. So here we are with the heart as the focus. Let's just imagine our hearts. What we're going to think of is a vast ball of love, unconditional love. So love can be a very confusing thing. Love is really something that's only been around since the 18th century. I know that's quite an odd claim to make. But if you think about our history beforehand, people didn't really work on the basis of whether they loved each other or not. Marriage and relationship and things was much more of a bargain that we struck between us to make countries hold together, to make families hold together, to make fortunes hold together. It was something that we bargained over. But now, ever since the writings of people, I don't know, Walter Scott and places, people like that, romantic novels, and suddenly this whole ideal of love becomes something very strong in our thought process. Of course, people have always loved each other, but it's been rarely thought of as being the driver. And so there's been a lot of time as well when we haven't thought about loving ourselves. Becoming more popular these days. But somehow that's the self-image that most people love, not truly themselves. So we're thinking about our heart. Imagine your heart as a ball, unconditional. The love that I've been talking about in these romantic novels is conditioned love. If you love me, I'll love you back. When you stop loving me, I stop loving you. You've broken the love between us. All of these kind of ideas that the love is predicated on other people's behavior, other people's way of being. This is not unconditional love. Unconditional love sees us love ourselves at the deepest level. It's not about loving the way we look, although that's involved, but it's about loving who we are. So put your hands on your heart and allow your heart to radiate love through your body. Think about love as a force, an energy radiating from your heart, pulsing through your body like a beautiful love transmitter, sending love from your heart out through your body. Think about our upset inner child. Radiate love into that child's life. And just imagine that the good days we thought of now radiate all the way through our childhood. Think about the whole childhood as being happy. Think about that smiling version of you. And no matter what the reality was, because reality is a very variable thing, in my opinion, think about this new reality where this radiation of love goes all the way through your childhood. Imagine your whole childhood as one long sunny day. Imagine your whole childhood as a timeless moment where you were lost in pleasure. Just allow the negative things from your childhood to be pushed to one side. Plant your heart in the center of your childhood and radiate love throughout your childhood for your inner child. No matter what has gone on in the past, we're gently shining sunshine through our childhood, allowing that child to stop feeling cross, stop feeling upset, to stop feeling injustice, to stop feeling that the adult world had lied. Just allowing your inner child to smile and be happy. Feel your inner child's heart radiating love to you and you radiating love back. We just gently erase those times that brought us low by sending love to them and through them, creating a gentle adjustment, as it were. Just like a darkened room, you open the shutters on a sunny day, and light radiates into every corner. Now we use our heart to send love throughout our childhood. Send love to the people who made your childhood difficult. Perhaps to your grandparents, perhaps to your parents, perhaps to your siblings, perhaps all of them. Imagine radiating this sunshine into their lives. Imagine how much better their lives could have been. Imagine and just forgive them because, yeah, it comes back to the Bible, doesn't it? That phrase, forgive them for they know not what they do. And it's just that, walking around, bumping into other people's lives. We have to forgive them because they know not what they do. Those people who had such a deep effect in your life were blundering around, just doing the best they could with the tools they had. And let's be fair, probably very limited tools, passed from generations before, who also had very little idea of what to do with these tools. And so we have to forgive these people, just trying the best they could. You might think to yourself, good God, they could have done so much better. But that's not true. Somebody else might have done so much better. The people you had did the best they could with what they had. So you have to radiate sunshine, radiate unconditional love, send it deep inside their lives. They don't have to be alive or dead. Doesn't really matter. Here, close, far away in time. Makes no difference. Working with your inner child, shifting your inner child's experience, changing the value of those first 7 years, radiating love throughout, radiating joy and happiness through. Send the love deep inside. Imagine things were very different. And then think about that frosty, the one who feels that everything is going against them, the one that feels, again, adults could do so much better. Adults, think about that frosty who expected so much, feels they receive so little. Send love into that teenager's life. Think about happiness, joy, about good days, and radiate these throughout the whole of your teenage life. It's time now to start loving yourself. It's time to realize that you are a brilliant, beautiful heart. My heart, totally open for you. Open your heart for me. No time, no space. Just feel unconditional love. Feel unconditional love for yourself. Feel unconditional love for everything that has gone before in your life. Feel unconditional love for your situation now, for your condition, for your illness, if you have one. Just realize that everything that has happened to you has been a message from your subconscious. And sometimes your subconscious doesn't understand. Sometimes your subconscious is confused about what is wanted. Your subconscious is just doing the best for you that it can. But again, perhaps your subconscious is deeply confused. So now we gently radiate sunshine through our subconscious. Radiate sunshine through your life. All of the dark corners that trouble you as an adult. Just allow them to dissolve. You can have a fresh start today. You can start completely anew. Just think about that. A fresh start, completely anew. You don't have to be the same person who started this class. In fact, I want you to have changed. I want you to start again, to become completely renewed. Have a fresh start today. From this very moment. So now we've radiated sunshine and love through our childhood, sunshine and love through our teenage years, sunshine and love through our subconscious, sunshine and love through our lives. Love yourself. Love yourself. And just to touch back on that idea, surrender, acceptance. It's okay to accept that the things before have brought us to where we are now. That's correct. It's good to accept that. Because if we think everything is everybody else's fault and it's not our own, then it's very difficult for us to heal ourselves. So acceptance is important. We're just accepting that, yeah, this is how life is. We're just accepting that this is how we've got here. This is what we're doing. That's great. But acceptance doesn't mean stopping fighting. And I don't really want to bring fight into this. Stopping working towards your healing is better. Acceptance kind of suggests lying down and saying, oh, well, that's just the way it is. But that is not what I want of you at all. What I want is for you to actively be involved in this healing process. Actively make these changes in your life. Actively think about resolving these problems. So acceptance is fine. Yes, I understand. Circumstances of my life brought me to where I am. That's acceptance. But it's not acceptance, oh, well, I'm ill, that's just it. That's not the acceptance. That's a misunderstanding. Acceptance of how you got here, but now work to change that. Bring this healing light and love into your life. Fill your life with light and love. Bathe all these parts, the shadow parts of you, in sunshine. The crying child, the angry teen, bathed in sunshine. The upset 30-something, the upset 40-something, the unhappy 50-something, whatever it is, bathe that in sunshine. I think it's time to do some lachi, maybe even some big lachi. So gently open your hands and just see all of these things dissolve and expand. Let go, let go, let go. And then when you draw in, bring back this healing love and kindness into your life. Feel that you can bathe your life in sunshine, in chi, in love. It's all the same thing. Gather, open, expand, let go, let go, let go. Feel your whole body can open, and all of these patterns you no longer need can dissolve into the sunshine, dissolve into the field. When you bring back vast quantities of good new information, of healing energy into your life, and allow that to populate every cell of your body. Open and expand and let all of those subconscious patterns dissolve and let go. Let them go. Feel that now you can unpeg all of the things that have held you in place, all of the old stories that have made you ill. No reason to hold on, just let them go. And then we gather back good new information, pour good new information into our lives, draw healing stories into our lives, uncover the true you, who you can really fall in love with. When you open and dissolve, you let go of all of the old stories, all the old personalities that made up you. When you bring back a healthy Qigong person. You bring back a healthy, healed Qigong person. A new you has been revealed. Open and let go of the layers that cover this Qigong healed person. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Blue sky Qi. And then gather back your perfect, healed Qigong person. Draw them deep inside your life. From this moment, as you open your hands, you've changed everything. You've changed how you respond to people. You've changed how you think about yourself. You've changed your position in life. And then when you draw back and gather, you're bringing back vast healing energy to fill your body, to fill your life, to make everything better, make everything work well. Draw it deep inside. Gathering and opening, relaxing. Feel the love as you open out. Feel the love as you open out your hands. Love for everything, everyone, but most importantly, love for yourself. Love your body today. Feel you can fill your body with blue sky, sunshine, love, happiness, and joy. Then when you draw the hands back, all of this energy comes in deep inside, healing you, bringing this vast healing energy into your body. One more time. Just let the whole body open, expand, joyful, happiness, a huge smile on your face. And then when we draw our hands back together, bring that happiness and joy into every cell of your body. Every cell of your body. Put your hands back on your heart. Radiate love throughout your whole body. Send love, unconditional love, to every part of your body. Feel that your heart supports this cause. Send unconditional love into every aspect of your life. Sending unconditional love to your grandparents, to your parents, sending unconditional love to your siblings, to your work colleagues, sending unconditional love to, I don't know, priests, teachers, school, politicians, sending unconditional love into every aspect of your life. Places you might not normally send love, people who you don't necessarily love, just send them love anyway. It doesn't matter. Everybody is only doing the best they can. They might seem, like idiots or unkind people or whatever to you, but just send them love anyway. Just realize that they're in pain. Just realize that you are escaping that pain and that they are still there. And send love to heal them. Send love to change them. Open up and open your heart. Feel your heart radiating chi like a lighthouse in the dark, a vast beam of love pouring out of you into every cell of every life around you, into nature around you, into the earth around you. You are this extraordinary bomb of light exploding throughout this whole planet, sending this unconditional love pouring down. Feel this extraordinary ability you have to put love to every single life and to every single being. And of course, focus back into your life and feel that love through every cell of you. Feel that love deep inside of you. Feel that love burning like a fire, radiating inside. Nothing can stand in the way of this perfect love you have for yourself. Nothing can stand in the way. Everything. It feels like forest fire to me. It's hard fire element. It feels like you could burn through all of the things. We often look at forest fire and we think to ourselves, oh, it's so terrible. But nature does that. It burns away all the leaves behind. Life instantly rebuilds itself. So, like you, allow that fire to burn through you. Allow yourself to become renewed by this fire. Everything that's not needed is burnt away. Green shoots appear everywhere. Brand new life. So the heart fire cleanses you. The heart love fills you. See yourself as a being of love. See yourself radiating. Perhaps you haven't used your heart for a long time. Just think about your heart being open. We live in a lot of fear. Now, our kidneys and heart are deeply connected. So if the kidneys are filled with fear, sometimes your heart closes. It becomes difficult to really risk love. But I'm asking you now to take that chance. I'm asking you now to really love. Love unconditionally. Open your heart. Feel that no matter what comes, it will be right. Open your heart and allow yourself to truly, truly love. Open your heart. Open your heart. So with the hands on the heart, we'll just say the heart tone 6 times. Ha. It's very simple. Just ha. It just vibrates gently. So breathing in. Ah. In breath. Breathe in deep. Radiates love. Love throughout your life. Last time. Love in every cell of your body. Whole body filled with love. Whole body healing. So let's draw our hands down onto lower dantian, onto the belly. As you stand here, just feel every cell in your body filled with this love. Suddenly your body understands that you love it. You don't hate it. And then everything changes. Your body hears this idea. Oh, I really love you. I love every cell in you. And then suddenly it thinks, okay, we don't need to punish ourselves anymore. We don't need to hurt ourselves anymore. Finally, the subconscious has got the message that it's about love. That's all that we wanted, was for the subconscious to love us. Now we can start making much happier chemicals, flooding better chi through our lives. Think about every cell smiling, every cell filled with love. So in this perfect healing state, everything is working well. Blood and chi are flowing well. All functions of your body are returning to perfect working order. Trust that love is enough to heal everything. Love heals all. Love conquers all, but love heals all. So in this beautiful state, we can gently draw 3 circles around lower dantian. So when we draw circles around lower dantian, it just brings us back to our core, brings us back to the center, focuses us back into the very, very core of us. Then we draw 3 circles in the opposite direction. And that just brings us back into this kind of daily life. Takes us from our chi state and moves us back into our physical state, brings us back. But as you go through this day, think about that smiling child, that happy teenager. Whenever you find yourself in a challenged place, send love, not hatred. Change the way you feel about things. When you see a news report that makes you upset, just send love. When someone close to you says something uncomfortable, unkind, just remember that that's their story, that's their pattern, not yours. And just forgive them and send them some love. When you think about yourself in an unkind way, you do something and you think, oh, so stupid. Just stop for a moment and send yourself a bit of love and say, no, that's not true, not stupid, just cross. And just try and think of yourself in a bit more of a kindly way today. So as we stand here, think about your Wei Qi layer as well. It's always useful to think about the Wei Qi layer. This gives you a kind of nice protective shield around your body. And then think about your Qi body, a beautiful big bubble of Qi, a meter in front, below, left, right, up and down. This vast bubble of Qi, blood and Qi flowing well. You in this wonderful shield of energy, safe and happy. Everything in your body functioning beautifully. All functions of your body, perfect working order. All functions of your body working well. All functions of your body normal. Normal. Not the old normal, the new normal. Functioning well. Feel happy. Feel joyful. Feel love. And keep that sensation all the way through your day, all the way through your week. Okay, so we can just slowly open our eyes. Put a big smile on our face. Release our hands. Just move the hands around a little bit. Move your feet around a little bit. Stretch out your body. Just move in any way you feel it's appropriate to loosen up your body. If you decide you need to do a bend, then just do that very slowly and carefully. Come up slowly and carefully, because when we rush up, we can make ourselves quite dizzy. And then we finish off by saying hola. So hola means good already. Everything we've been working with, fixed, sorted. And so if you decide to unmute yourself, you'll be on the YouTube video. So if you want to stay unmuted, that's no problem. And I know you'll be saying hola along with me. So let's put our hands up in the air. I'm going to say hola 3 times. So 1, 2. Ah. 1, 2. Ah. Last time. 1, 2. Ah. Lovely. So we have a little salute to finish off with. It's called entirety hands. So maybe, the Buddhists always put prayer hands like this. Taoists have something, I think, like this. But for us, entirety hands, in Zheneng Qigong, you just lift your right palm up and your left palm lies on top of it. You pull the fingers together and you put the thumbs on top. So I think it's a little bit like a yin and yang symbol, really. And then we draw the hands up in front of the chest, elbows level. Thank you very much for being here today. It's been really lovely. And this, as I always say, will go up onto YouTube. Please, if you see it there, pass it around, send it around to your friends. And yes, have a lovely day. Don't forget this love place all the way through your day, all the way through your week. Keep coming back here. Keep reminding yourself. Keep that love flowing through your body. This is where your real healing begins. Thank you so much. Bye, Ron.